Before you drift away tonight, pause for a moment and feel the gravity holding you gently against your bed. That sensation is an ancient promise kept by the earth itself, a silent, invisible embrace that has existed for 4.5 billion years. Tonight, we are going to travel back through that deep time. We will leave behind the noise of the human world and descend into the quiet, rhythmic heartbeat of the planet. From the cooling of the first stone to the slow drift of the continents, let the science of our world become your lullaby. Close your eyes, breathe in, and let the history of the earth carry you to sleep. Long before there were clocks to measure the hours or eyes to watch the sunrise, there was only the vast and comfortable silence of the deep cosmos. Imagine, if you can, a time 4.5 billion years ago, when the space where you now rest was nothing more than a drifting cloud of cold gas and glittering dust, known to scientists as the solar nebula. There was no ground beneath your feet and no blue sky above, only the endless velvet darkness of the universe, wrapping everything in a quiet embrace. In this ancient era, the concept of heavy and light did not exist yet, because the earth itself was just a dream waiting to be born amidst the silent particles of stardust. Picture the tranquility of this scene, where tiny grains of silicon and carbon and ice floated weightlessly in the void. There was no wind to blow them around and no sound to disturb their peace. They moved with the slow and graceful rhythm of deep space, drifting through the dark like microscopic ships on a calm and invisible ocean. This is the ultimate state of relaxation, where matter exists without tension and without urgency. The science of our beginning is a story of patience, because the universe was in no rush to create our home. Slowly and with infinite care, the very first force of nature began to wake up within this cloud. It was gravity, the most gentle and persistent force in existence. Gravity is often thought of as a heavy weight, but in the beginning it was nothing more than a whisper. It was a faint attraction between two tiny specks of dust floating miles apart in the nebula. Think of the sheer calmness of that moment when one grain of dust felt the pull of another across the emptiness. It was not a violent collision, but a soft meeting, like two snowflakes touching in midair. This process is called accretion, and it is the scientific name for the way the Earth was built, piece by piece and grain by grain. As you listen to the silence of the room around you, imagine that you are floating in that nebula, watching this slow-motion dance of creation. The laws of physics were working quietly in the background, guiding these particles together with a soothing inevitability. Over millions of years, the dust began to gather into small clumps, and those clumps gathered into rocks. There was no noise here, only the muffled thud of soft matter joining together in the vacuum of space. The nebula spun slowly around the young sun, which was just beginning to glow in the center, and this spinning motion created a cradle for the growing planets. It is relaxing to realize that the gravity holding you to your bed right now is the same ancient force that pulled those first grains of dust together billions of years ago. It is a constant and reliable hug from the universe that has never let go. As the rocks grew larger, they began to attract more dust, clearing their path in the nebula. This was the cleaning of the solar system, a process of bringing order to chaos. Imagine the satisfaction of watching a messy cloud slowly turning into neat and organized rings of matter. The proto-Earth was forming, not with fire and fury yet, but with the cold and quiet accumulation of history. Each rock that joined a growing planet brought with it a tiny bit of heat and a tiny bit of mass, adding to the gravity that would one day hold the oceans and the mountains in place. The science of this moment is simple and beautiful because it is about connection. Nothing in the universe likes to be truly alone, so gravity ensures that everything eventually finds a partner. As the Earth grew from the size of a pebble to the size of a boulder and then to the size of a mountain, the silence of space remained unbroken. It was a dark and peaceful nursery for a planet. You can visualize the vast distances between these floating rocks and the time it took for them to meet. There was no rush. 1,000 years in the nebula passed like a single second. This creates a sense of deep time, where the anxieties of the present moment dissolve into the billions of years of history that came before us. You are small, but you are made of this same ancient star stuff that once floated peacefully in the void. The rotation of the nebula was slow and hypnotic, turning like a great cosmic wheel in the dark. As the Earth became larger, its gravity became stronger, pulling in more material from the surrounding space. It was like a deep breath being drawn in, gathering the essence of the solar system into a single sphere. The pressure at the center of this growing ball began to rise, but even that was a slow and steady process. In the cold vacuum of space, where the temperature rests near absolute zero, the warmth of the growing planet was a gentle contrast. It was a small ember of heat in a cold universe, a promise of the life that would come billions of years later. But for now, there was only rock and ice and silence. The chaotic movements of individual dust grains were replaced by the smooth orbit of a planet in the making. This is the feeling of falling asleep, where scattered thoughts slowly drift together and settle into a heavy and comfortable quiet. Just as the dust settled to form the Earth, let your body settle into the mattress. Let the gravity that was born in that nebula do its work on you. It pulls your shoulders down away from your ears. It pulls your arms gently into the mattress. It holds your legs still and heavy. This force is billions of years old, and it is tired. It wants you to rest, just as the dust of the nebula finally found a place to rest when it formed the Earth. Imagine looking out from the surface of this forming world. There is no atmosphere yet to scatter the light, so the stars are sharp and steady points of diamonds against the black screen of the universe. The sun is smaller and dimmer in the distance, a pale yellow coin that offers just enough light to see the gray and silent landscape of the new Earth. It is a monochrome world of shadows and stillness. There are no rivers flowing, yet no trees rustling in the wind, and no birds calling out. There is only the rock and the stars, and the comfort of being part of a celestial cycle that is far greater than any human concern. The accretion process continues, adding layer upon layer to the planet, burying the history of the nebula deep beneath the surface. The dust that once floated freely is now locked safely inside the Earth, just as your memories of the day are now locked away so you can rest. The science of planet formation teaches us that great things come from small and patient beginnings. It tells us that there is a time for activity and a time for gathering and resting. This period of the Earth's history was its long sleep before the awakening of geology. It was a time of preparation. The particles of iron and nickel that would one day form the Earth's core were sinking slowly to the center, drawn by gravity to the deepest part of the planet. This differentiation is like the body relaxing into deep sleep, where the core functions slow down and the heavy thoughts sink away, leaving only peace. The silence of the nebula is still there if you listen closely enough to the night sky. It is the background static of the universe, the echo of creation that hums a lullaby to everything that exists. As the Earth cleared its orbit, it traveled through the darkness alone, but secure in its path. There is a safety in knowing that the laws of physics are consistent. They do not change. Gravity will not stop. The rotation will not falter. You can trust in the stability of the world, just as the early Earth trusted in the gravity that held it together. The dust is no longer wandering. It has found its home. It has become the rock that you are supported by. The chaos of the cloud has become the solidity of the ground. Everything that was once loose and floating has been gathered up and made safe. This is the story of the silent nebula, the time before noise, the time before worry, the time when the universe was just a quiet room filled with floating dust and the gentle promise of gravity pulling everything into a deep and eternal embrace.
After the dust of the nebula had silently gathered together, the Earth entered a deep and glowing era of its history, known to science as the Hadean Eon. This was a time not of silence, but of warmth, a time when the entire planet was a vast and comfortable sphere of liquid rock. Imagine closing your eyes and visualizing the world as it was 4 billion years ago, a glowing jewel of deep orange and red, suspended in the absolute freezing darkness of space. It was a world made entirely of magma, a heavy and viscous fluid that moved with the slow lethargy of honey. There was no solid ground to stand on yet, only the gentle currents of molten stone circling the globe in a slow and rhythmic motion. This chapter of Earth's history is a story about the relaxing power of thermodynamics, the universal law that says heat must always travel into the cold until balance is restored. The universe is a vast heat sink, a limitless blanket of cold that waited patiently for the young Earth to calm down. As you lie in the comfort of your bed, imagine the heat of the day leaving your body, just as the heat of the ancient Earth began to radiate out into the void. It was a process that took millions of years, a gradual and unhurried release of energy. The surface of the planet was in contact with the vacuum of space, and molecule by molecule, the heat escaped. This is the most natural process in physics, the slowing down of energy. Inside the liquid rock, the atoms were moving fast, dancing with the energy of creation. But as the temperature dropped, they began to tire. They moved slower and slower, finding their places in a structured order. This is the birth of the solid state, the moment when chaos becomes stability. Watch in your mind as the bright orange surface begins to dim, turning to a deep red and then to a dark and restful gray. Patches of solid rock began to form on the surface of the magma ocean, like rafts of ice forming on a winter lake. These were the first pieces of the Earth's crust, the first solid ground in history. They floated gently on the soft interior, drifting and colliding with a soft clinking sound. It is a deeply soothing image to think of a hard shell forming over a soft center, just as a blanket settles over a sleeping form. The science of crystallization began to take over. As the magma cooled, minerals began to grow. Tiny crystals of olivine and pyroxene and feldspar began to knit together, locking into perfect geometric shapes. This is the universe creating order out of nothing. The atoms aligned themselves in rows and columns, building a microscopic architecture of strength and stability. The liquid rock turned into basalt, a heavy and dark stone that would become the foundation of the ocean floors. There is a sense of permanence in this cooling. The fluid and changing world was becoming fixed and reliable. The heat did not disappear entirely. It simply moved inward, leaving the surface cool to the touch. The Earth was wrapping itself in a protective layer,
a shield of stone that would insulate the core for billions of years. Think of the safety of that solid crust. It separates the fiery heart of the planet from the cold emptiness of space. It is the boundary where we live, the floor that supports your home and your bed. The cooling of the Earth was the ultimate act of settling down.
The violent bubbling of the early magma slowed to a gentle simmer and then to a stillness. The steam that rose from the cooling rocks formed a misty veil around the planet, softening the harsh light of the young sun. It was a steam bath on a planetary scale, wrapping the world in a humid and warm embrace. As the crust thickened, it became heavy and stable. It was no longer a fleeting raft of rock, but a continent in the making. The colors of the world shifted from the angry reds of fire to the soothing blacks and grays of obsidian and granite. Obsidian is volcanic glass, created when rock cools so quickly that it has no time to form crystals, and it is smooth and dark and quiet. Granite forms when the cooling is slow and deep, allowing the crystals to grow large and strong over thousands of years. Both of these stones were born from this great cooling process. The Earth was exhaling, releasing the tension of its formation. It is a relaxing thought to realize that the ground beneath you is simply energy that has slowed down and frozen into place. The solidity of the world is just a matter of temperature. If the Earth were hotter, the rocks would flow like water. But because the Earth has rested and cooled, the rocks are solid and dependable. You can trust the ground. It has finished its transition. It has done the hard work of becoming solid so that you can rest upon it. The laws of thermodynamics are gentle but firm, ensuring that the fever of the Hadean eon eventually broke. The cooling moved from the outside in, just as sleep moves from your extremities inward to your core. First, your hands and feet relax, and then the relaxation spreads to your chest and your mind. The Earth followed this same pattern. The crust formed first, a thin and fragile skin that grew thicker and stronger with every passing millennium. Below the crust, the mantle remained warm and soft, a plastic layer that allows the continents to drift, but the surface remained cool. This contrast between the cool exterior and the warm interior is what makes our planet alive. It is like a warm body under a cool sheet. The heat that remains inside the Earth is a reminder of that early time, a memory of the fire kept safe deep underground. But on the surface, the calmness reigns. The rocks you might pick up on a beach or in a park are the distant descendants of this great cooling. They are cold and hard and still. They hold the silence of billions of years within their crystal structures. As you visualize the dark crust covering the glowing orb, imagine the sense of relief that the planet must felt. The wild and fluid energy was tamed. The erratic motion of the liquid magma was replaced by the stillness of stone. The planet became a solid object, a defined shape in the solar system. It was no longer a shapeless cloud or a shifting drop of liquid, but a sphere of rock with a definite surface. This definition brings peace. There is no ambiguity in stone. It is there, solid and unmoving. The great cooling paved the way for the oceans to form and for the atmosphere to settle. It was the foundation of everything that was to come. Without this cooling, there would be no place to stand, no place to rest. The heat radiated away into the vastness of the universe, carrying with it the turbulence of the beginning. The emptiness of space absorbed this heat without complaint, a vast reservoir of silence that accepted the Earth's excess energy. And so the Earth cooled. It cooled through the long nights and the short days. It cooled under the watch of the distant stars. It cooled until the surface was hard enough to walk on, hard enough to build on, hard enough to sleep on. The science of phase transition, where a liquid becomes a solid, is a science of slowing down. It is the molecular equivalent of falling asleep. The particles stop their wandering and find their place in the bed of the crystal lattice. They bond with their neighbors and hold on tight, creating a structure that can withstand the ages. Let your own thoughts follow this pattern. Let them slow down. Let them stop their wandering. Let them bond with the stillness of the moment. You are as stable as the ancient basalt. You are as grounded as the cooling crust. The fire of the day has passed, and the cool of the night has arrived. The great cooling is not just history, it is a nightly ritual. The world turns away from the sun and cools down. The air gets crisper. The ground releases the heat of the day. And you, part of this earth, participate in the cooling. Your body temperature drops slightly as you enter sleep, mimicking the history of your home planet. You are connected to this ancient rhythm. The magma has become stone. The fire has become rock. The chaos has become rest. Trust in the solid ground that holds you. It was made for this purpose, to be a cradle of stone for life to dream upon. The cooling continues even now, imperceptibly slow, a billion-year-long exhale that keeps the world steady. The Hadean eon has ended, and the era of rest has begun. Let the image of the dark, cooling rock soothe your mind. It is a solid wall against the noise. It is a firm floor against the fall. It is the earth settling into its shape, ready to hold you through the night.
The earth had cooled, and the crust had hardened into a shield of dark basalt. But the story of our home was still dry and barren until the arrival of the great clouds. Imagine the sky as it was back then, a thick and heavy blanket of endless white steam that wrapped the entire globe in a humid embrace. All the water that would one day fill the Pacific and the Atlantic and the Indian Oceans was suspended in the air, waiting for the signal to fall. This is the science of the water cycle in its most primal and powerful form, a massive reservoir of potential energy hovering above the ground. The atmosphere was dense with moisture, holding the weight of the future seas. Then, slowly and inevitably, as the temperature of the rock continued to drop, the tipping point arrived. The air could no longer hold the water. The steam began to condense, turning from a gas into a liquid. This phase change is one of the most relaxing processes in nature, a moment of release where tension turns into flow. High above the ground, the first microscopic droplets formed, clinging together until they became heavy enough to surrender to gravity. Picture that very first drop of rain falling through the silent haze. It fell for miles, traveling through the thick atmosphere until it struck the warm, dry rock with a soft hiss. It was the first note in a symphony that would last for eons. Then came another drop and another, and soon the sky opened up in a way that has never been seen since. This was not a thunderstorm that passes in the night, nor a week of gray weather. This was the great primordial deluge, a rain that began and did not stop for millions of years. Let your mind drift into the sound of that rain. It was a constant and rhythmic drumming, a white noise that blanketed the entire planet. There is nothing more soothing than the sound of heavy rain against a roof or a window, but imagine that sound magnified to cover the whole world. The water washed over the high peaks of the volcanoes and ran down the slopes of the cooling lava flows. It was a warm rain, a cleansing bath for the young earth. The water gathered in small pools, which grew into ponds and then into vast lakes. Gravity guided every single drop, finding the lowest points of the crust, the deep basins and the empty canyons that had formed during the cooling. The science of this era is the science of filling up. It is a feeling of satisfaction, like a cup being filled to the brim or a dry thirst being quenched. The water flowed over the rocks, smoothing out the sharp edges and beginning the slow work of erosion. It carried the minerals of the land into the gathering pools, making the water salty and rich with the ingredients for future life. As you lie in bed, imagine the feeling of being submerged in warm, comforting water. The earth was creating its own bath. The basins filled slowly and steadily, rising inch by inch and mile by mile. The lowlands disappeared beneath the rising tide. The valleys became the floors of the new oceans. This was the birth of the hydrosphere, the water world that we know today. The sound of the rain was the only sound on Earth, a hypnotic and unending hum that drowned out the creaking of the cooling rocks. It was a lullaby that lasted for an eternity. The rain cooled the Earth even further, acting as a massive radiator that took the heat from the ground and transferred it to the sky. The steam rose again, cooled, and fell back as rain in a continuous and perfect loop. This cycle is the heartbeat of our climate, and it began right here in the dark and rainy past. The water was dark at first, reflecting the black clouds above, but as the oceans deepened, they began to take on a character of their own. They became heavy and still. The weight of the water pressed down on the crust, settling the tectonic plates and adding a new layer of stability to the planet. The pressure of the deep ocean is a comforting weight, a sensation of being held and supported. As the centuries turned into millennia, the rain continued to fall, washing the atmosphere clean. The dust and the ash from the early volcanoes were scrubbed from the sky by the falling water, leaving the air clearer and fresher. The world was being washed. It was being prepared. There is a deep psychological comfort in the idea of a great washing away. It suggests that mistakes can be erased, that the slate can be wiped clean, and that everything can be made new again. The water filled the deepest trenches of the crust, places like the Mariana Trench, where the darkness is absolute and the quiet is eternal. These deep places are the ultimate sanctuaries of silence. The rain eventually began to slow. The clouds, which had choked the sky for so long, began to thin. The sun, which had been hidden behind the veil of steam for millions of years, finally broke through. Imagine the light hitting the surface of the new ocean for the first time. The ocean absorbed the light and reflected it back, turning the gray and black world into a brilliant, stunning blue. The blue marble was born. The rain had done its work. It had taken a dry and hostile rock and turned it into a jewel of water and light. The oceans were vast, covering nearly the entire surface of the planet, with only small islands of rock poking through the waves. The sound of the rain was replaced by the sound of the waves. The rhythmic crashing of water against the shore is a sound that matches the rhythm of human breathing. Breathe in as the wave rises, and breathe out as it crashes and recedes. The ancient ocean moved with the tides, pulled by the young moon in a dance that continues to this night. The water is a thermal buffer, holding on to heat and releasing it slowly, moderating the temperature of the world. It makes the earth livable. It makes the earth comfortable. The formation of the oceans was the moment the earth became soft. Water is flexible and yielding, yet it is powerful enough to carve canyons and shape continents. It is the element of emotion and flow. As you drift towards sleep, think of the water that makes up your own body. You are carrying a part of that ancient ocean within you. The salt in your blood is the same concentration as the salt in those primordial seas. You are connected to this rain. You are a vessel of this ancient water. The rain that falls on your roof tonight is the same water that fell 4 billion years ago, recycled and purified by the Earth's natural systems. It is a closed loop of comfort. The filling of the basins was a time of gathering. The scattered moisture of the nebula and the steam of the volcanoes were brought together into one collective body. The ocean is unity. It is all drops joined together. In the ocean, there is no separation. There is only the whole. This is the feeling of deep sleep, where the separated parts of your conscious mind merge into the vast, deep ocean of the unconscious. You are floating on that ancient sea. The water supports you effortlessly. There is no need to swim. There is no need to struggle. The density of the salt water holds you up. The storm of the creation is over. The rain has stopped. The waters are calm. The surface of the sea is like a mirror, reflecting the stars that are now visible in the clear sky. The peace of the post-rain clarity is profound. The air is crisp and cool. The rocks are clean. The world is settled. This is the legacy of the first rain. It gave us the gift of the ocean, the gift of the blue horizon, and the gift of the sound of water. Let the memory of that long torrential rain wash over you now. Let it wash away the stress of the day. Let it carry away your worries like leaves floating on a stream. The water is rising gently around you, not to drown you, but to cradle you. It is a warm bath prepared by the universe. The science of hydrology is the science of flow, and tonight you are flowing with the current of time. You are drifting back to the moment when the world was new and wet and clean. The rain falls, the water rises, the ocean waits. The sound is steady. Shh. Listen to the rain. Listen to the water filling the deep places. Listen to the silence that follows the storm. The ocean is deep and dark and safe. It covers the world in a blanket of blue. It holds the secrets of the past and the dreams of the future. Sleep now, floating on the gentle waves of the first ocean, carried by the rhythm of the tides into the deep and restful night. After the great rains had filled the oceans, the earth remained a silent and mysterious place, wrapped in a haze of gases that were thick and heavy. The planet had cooled and the water had settled, but the air was not yet the sweet and invisible elixir that fills your lungs tonight. This chapter of our history is the story of the great deep breath, the formation of the atmosphere that swaddles our world in a protective layer of safety. Imagine standing on the shore of that ancient ocean, looking up at a sky that was not blue, but a hazy orange or pink, filled with carbon dioxide and nitrogen and steam. It was a heavy sky, a weight that pressed down on the young planet, keeping it warm in the cold vacuum of space. The science of the atmosphere is the science of mixing, of finding the perfect balance between different elements to create a haven for life. As you lie there, breathing slowly and rhythmically, you are participating in a cycle that began billions of years ago. The air you breathe is a legacy, a gift from the slow chemistry of the past. The formation of this air began with the volcanoes, which were the chimneys of the underworld, releasing trapped gases from deep within the Earth's mantle. For millions of years, these volcanoes exhaled steam and nitrogen into the sky, building up the pressure and the density of the air. It was a slow and steady accumulation, like inflating a vast balloon. Nitrogen is a calming gas. It is inert, which means it does not like to react or cause trouble. It simply exists, stable and reliable, making up the majority of the air we breathe. Think of nitrogen as the quiet foundation of the atmosphere, the steady background presence that holds everything else in place. It is 78% of the air around you, a massive, unseen ocean of gas that cushions your movements. The arrival of oxygen was the next great miracle, and it did not come from fire, but from the quiet work of tiny living things in the sea. In the shallow waters of the ancient oceans, microscopic cyanobacteria began the process of photosynthesis, taking the sunlight and the water and turning them into energy. As a byproduct, they released tiny bubbles of oxygen. Imagine these microscopic bubbles rising slowly through the water, popping at the surface and releasing their cargo into the air. It was a gentle fizzing, a slow effervescence that changed the destiny of the planet. This was the Great Oxidation Event, a dramatic name for a very peaceful process. Molecule by molecule, the oxygen drifted up, mixing with the nitrogen. It took eons for the oxygen to build up, because nature is never in a rush. The air was being crafted, blended like a fine perfume. As the oxygen levels rose, the chemistry of the sky changed. The heavy haze began to clear. The air became lighter and crisper. This new atmosphere was a blanket in the truest sense. It trapped just enough heat to keep the earth warm at night, acting like the duvet that covers you now. Without this atmosphere, the earth would freeze every time the sun went down, but the air holds the warmth, hugging the planet tight. It is a thermodynamic embrace. The science of this layer is a science of protection. High above the surface, where the air meets the emptiness of space, a special layer formed called the ozone layer. This was created when the sunlight hit the oxygen molecules, causing them to bond in a new way. The ozone layer is the Earth's invisible shield, a roof that blocks the harsh ultraviolet radiation of the sun.
Before this shield existed, the surface of the Earth was bathed in intense and dangerous light. But once the ozone formed, the land became safe. Imagine this invisible barrier forming miles above your head, a silent guardian that filters the light, ensuring that only the gentle and warming rays reach the ground. It is because of this shield that you can sleep safely, that life can thrive on the surface. The atmosphere also acts as a physical shield against the rocks of space. Every day, tiny meteors strike the atmosphere, but they do not reach the ground. The friction of the air burns them, turning them into shooting stars. These are the streaks of light you see in the night sky, the visual proof that the air is protecting you. It is a comforting thought to know that you are living inside a fortress of gas that burns up dangers before they can touch you. As the composition of the air settled into the mix of nitrogen and oxygen we know today, the color of the sky began to change. The science of Rayleigh scattering explains why the sky is blue. The molecules of nitrogen and oxygen are just the right size to scatter the blue light from the sun, sending it bouncing in all directions. This is why, when you look up, you see a dome of calm and cooling blue. It is the color of serenity, the color of peace. The formation of the blue sky was the final touch on the masterpiece of the atmosphere. It turned the ceiling of the world into a canvas of light. The air is not just a chemical mixture, it is a physical substance with weight and mass. The column of air above you pushes down with a pressure of 14 pounds per square inch. This might sound heavy, but to the human body, it feels like a hug. It is a constant pressure that holds us together, that keeps our fluids in balance. We evolved to live in this pressure, to be held by the air. When you take a deep breath, you are drawing this ancient history into your body. You are inhaling the nitrogen that came from the volcanoes and the oxygen that came from the sea. You are connecting your inner world with the outer world. The rhythm of your breathing matches the rhythm of the atmosphere itself. The wind is simply the air moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, seeking balance. The
The sound of the wind in the trees is one of the most relaxing sounds on Earth, the voice of the atmosphere whispering to the ground. It is the sound of the planet breathing. As you drift deeper into relaxation, visualize the layers of the atmosphere above you. First, the troposphere, where the weather happens, where the clouds drift and the rain falls. Above that is the stratosphere, where the air is still and the ozone layer sits. Higher still are the mesosphere and the thermosphere, thinning out into the blackness of space. These layers are like the blankets on your bed, each one adding a level of warmth and protection. You are tucked in by gravity and swaddled by air. The turbulence of the early solar system is gone, and we are left with this stable and breathable bubble. The air creates a gentle pressure on your eardrums, a silence that is not empty but full. It creates the medium for sound, allowing lullabies to travel from a speaker to your ears. Without the air, there would be no sound, only the silence of the vacuum.
So the atmosphere gives us the gift of music, the gift of voices, and the gift of listening. The mixing of the gases is so perfect and so homogeneous that no matter where you go on Earth, the air is there waiting for you. It is the most reliable thing in your life. You do not have to think about breathing. The air enters your lungs automatically, driven by the wisdom of your body and the pressure of the atmosphere. It is an effortless exchange. Carbon dioxide leaves your body and is absorbed by the plants, which give back oxygen in a perfect symbiotic loop. This is the circle of life, sustaining itself through the medium of the air. The formation of the atmosphere allowed the Earth to regulate its temperature. It smoothed out the extremes, making the days less hot and the nights less cold. It created a temperate zone, a Goldilocks condition, where liquid water could exist and where you can sleep comfortably. The air acts as a diffuser, softening the sunlight so it wraps around objects rather than striking them harshly. It creates the twilight and the dawn, the slow transitions between day and night that signal the body to rest. The beauty of a sunset with its reds and purples is caused by the light traveling through more of the atmosphere, scattering the light in new and beautiful ways. These colors are the bedtime story of the planet, telling all living things that the time for rest has come. As the oxygen levels stabilized, the sky became the vast open cathedral that we know. It is transparent, allowing us to see the stars and the moon, yet substantial enough to protect us. It is the perfect balance of openness and closure. You are free, yet you are safe. The history of the air is a history of cooperation between the geology of the Earth and the biology of the sea. It is a collaborative masterpiece. The deep breath of the planet took billions of years to complete, but it is now finished. The air is stable. The shield is in place. You can close your eyes and trust that the next breath will be there. You can trust that the roof of the world will hold. The invisible particles of air are dancing around you, slow and calm, filling the room with a sense of presence. They carry the heat away from your body, keeping you cool. They carry the sound of silence. They are the invisible hands of nature, holding you in the dark. Sleep now, safe within the bubble, protected by the ancient science of the sky, breathing in the peace of the ages and breathing out the worries of the day. The atmosphere is your guardian, the sky is your shelter, and the air is your lullaby.
Beneath the floorboards of your room and beneath the concrete foundations of your home, the earth feels perfectly solid and immovably still, which is one of the most comforting illusions in nature. We build our lives and our cities and our beds upon the assumption that the ground does not move. But science tells us a deeper and more relaxing truth. The ground is moving. It is always moving. But it moves with such a profound and gentle slowness that it rocks us without us ever knowing it. This chapter of our history is called the Continental Waltz, a slow-motion dance of land masses that has been playing out for billions of years. Imagine, if you can, the map of the world as it exists today, with the Americas separated from Europe and Africa by the vast blue stretch of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, let your mind drift back in time, back 250 million years to a time when all the lands of the Earth were huddled together in a single massive embrace. This was the supercontinent known as Pangaea. In that ancient time, you could walk from New York to Morocco without ever getting your feet wet. The continents were fitted together like the pieces of a giant puzzle that had been solved and laid to rest. It is a cozy image to think of the whole world gathered together in one place, surrounded by a single endless ocean called Panthalassa. The world was a solitary island in a sea of peace. But the Earth is restless in the most gentle way possible. Deep beneath the crust, where the rock is hot and soft, the planet began to stir. This is the science of plate tectonics, the engine that drives the waltz. The Earth's outer shell is not one solid piece like an eggshell, but is broken into massive rafts of rock called tectonic plates. You are lying on one right now. The North American plate is a colossal slab of stone that carries the entire continent on its back. These plates float on a layer of the mantle called the asthenosphere. The word itself sounds soft. Asthenosphere comes from the Greek for weak or soft, because the rock there is hot enough to bend and flow like thick, warm honey. It acts as a lubricant, allowing the heavy continents to slide across the surface of the globe. This movement is the very definition of patience. The continents do not rush, they do not sprint, they drift. The speed of this drift is one of the most soothing statistics in all of science, because the continents move at the exact same speed that your fingernails grow. Look at your hand for a moment in your mind's eye. Think of how slowly a fingernail lengthens. You cannot see it happen. You cannot feel it happen. If you stare at it for an hour or a day or a week, it looks exactly the same. Yet over time, it grows. This is the pace of the Earth. It is a pace that is completely unconcerned with the hurry of human life. It is a pace that says there is no deadline, there is only time, deep time. As you lie in bed tonight, you are riding a continent that is traveling a few centimeters every year. It is a journey so smooth that it feels like stillness. This is the ultimate rocking motion. When a mother rocks a cradle, she moves it back and forth to soothe the child, but the Earth rocks us by carrying us across the globe in a long, slow arc. We are all passengers on these massive stone ships sailing across a sea of hot rock that moves slower than a glacier. The breakup of Pangaea was not a disaster, but a departure. It was a slow farewell as the continents began to drift apart to find their own places in the world. South America and Africa were once nestled close together like sleeping partners. You can still see how their coastlines match perfectly, the bulge of Brazil fitting snugly into the hollow of West Africa. Over millions of years, a rift began to open between them. It started as a small valley, a crack in the earth that filled with rain and rivers. Then, as the plates moved apart, the ocean poured in. This was the birth of the Atlantic Ocean. It grew wider by an inch a year, an inch of water added to the distance between the old friends. The silence of this separation is profound. It happened without fanfare, just the quiet, relentless push of the mantle currents deep underground. These currents are caused by the heat of the Earth's core, rising and falling in slow loops. It is a convection cycle, similar to the way soup moves in a pot, but billions of times slower and thicker. This heat pushes the plates, dragging them along the surface. It is the heartbeat of the geology. As the continents drifted, they carried the mountains and the forests and the dinosaurs with them. The climate changed slowly as the land moved from the equator to the poles, or from the poles to the tropics. The Earth was rearranging its furniture, finding a new balance. This waltz is a dance of equilibrium. When one ocean opens, another must close. When one continent moves west, another must move east. It is a perfectly choreographed ballet where no movement is wasted. The collision of India into Asia, which created the Himalayas, was a slow-motion meeting of giants. It was not a crash, but a crumpled folding of the earth, raising the ceiling of the world inch by inch. Even the tallest mountains are the result of this slow, persistent pushing. It teaches us that you do not need to be fast to create something magnificent. You just need to be consistent. You just need to keep moving at your own natural pace. The continental drift suggests that stability is not about staying in one place, but about moving with the flow. You can be stable while you are moving. You are safe while you are drifting. The ground beneath you is currently moving westward, away from Europe and towards the Pacific. You are traveling right now, even while you sleep. You are on a voyage that will last for millions of years. This thought frees you from the feeling of being stuck. You are never truly stuck because the world itself is carrying you forward. The energy required to move a continent is unimaginable, yet it is applied so gently that it does not wake you. It is a reserve of power that is used for slow transport. Imagine the sheer weight of the rock beneath you, miles and miles of granite and basalt and iron. To move such mass requires a force that is absolute and unwavering. That force is holding you up. It is the same gravity and the same friction that keeps the plates moving. The science of paleomagnetism helps us track this ancient dance. When rocks cool, they lock in the magnetic direction of the North Pole. By studying old rocks, scientists can trace the path of the continents, winding back the clock to see the dance in reverse. We can watch the continents slide back together, reforming Pangaea and then drifting apart again. It is a cycle of coming together and breaking apart, of unity and solitude. It is the breathing of the crust. The supercontinents form and break and form again in a cycle that takes hundreds of millions of years. We are currently in the dispersed phase of the cycle, where the continents are spread out, but one day in the far distant future, they will meet again. There is a promise of reunion in the geology.
But for now, we enjoy the drift. We enjoy the space between the lands. The Pacific Ocean is shrinking and the Atlantic is growing. The world is alive in a way that is too slow to be seen, but deep enough to be felt. This is the rhythm of the lithosphere. The word lithosphere means the sphere of stone. It sounds heavy and hard, but on the scale of the Earth, it is a floating skin. It rides high on the mantle like a raft on a calm sea. The friction between the plates sometimes causes a shudder, which we call an earthquake. But mostly the movement is silent. It is a creep, a slow slide, a glide. Imagine the bed you are lying on is a small boat on a very calm lake. You are drifting so slowly that you cannot tell you are moving until you look at the stars. The Earth is that boat. The stars above us change their position over thousands of years as we drift through the galaxy, and as our continents drift across the globe. We are travelers in space and time. The continental waltz is the background music of our existence. It plays at a tempo of one beat every million years. It is a tempo that induces a trance. It forces your brain to slow down to match the speed of the geology. You cannot rush the Earth, and you cannot rush sleep. You must let go and let the drift take you. Let the concept of the sliding plates loosen the tension in your muscles. Your muscles are like the continents holding tension, but they can also drift apart. they can also relax and soften. Let your jaw unhinge slightly. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands open. You are mimicking the spreading of the seafloor. You are making space within yourself. The stress of the fast-paced human world feels insignificant when compared to the slow march of the continents. Deadlines and schedules mean nothing to a tectonic plate. The plate only knows the direction of the flow. Be like the plate. Ignore the clock. Follow the flow. The heat from the core that drives this movement is the Earth's own body heat. It is a warm planet. It is not a cold, dead rock. It is alive and shifting. The feeling of the Earth beneath you is a feeling of support. It is carrying you to tomorrow. It is carrying you to a new location in the universe. Every morning when you wake up, you are in a slightly different place than where you fell asleep. You have moved a fraction of a millimeter. It is a tiny distance, but it is real. You are a voyager. The waltz continues silently through the night. Africa moves north. Australia moves north. Antarctica sits still and heavy on the bottom of the world, anchoring the dance. The symmetry of the movement is beautiful. It is a balanced equation of mass and energy. The science of tectonics is the science of the foundation. It tells us that the foundation is flexible. It tells us that change is natural and slow. It tells us that even the hardest rock can flow if given enough time. So give yourself time tonight. Give yourself the permission to drift. The world is not asking you to run. It is only asking you to ride. The huge, heavy plates are sliding past each other with the grace of glaciers. The friction is low. The resistance is gone. The path is clear. The Pangea of the past is a memory, and the Pangea of the future is a dream. But the drifting world of today is your reality. It is a rocking cradle made of stone and soil. It is a hammock strung between the poles. It swings gently in the solar wind. It swings gently on the mantle. The dance is slow. The music is silent. The partner is the earth itself. And you are being led into the darkness of sleep by the steady, confident movement of the ground. Trust the waltz. Trust the drift. Trust the slow and steady growth of the world. Sleep now as the continents slide through the night, moving no faster than your dreams, growing no louder than a whisper, carrying you safely across the sea of time.
Now that we have felt the gentle movement of the continents, let us descend deeper into the stillness of the crust, leaving the shifting surface behind to find the places where the earth keeps its secrets. Beneath the soil and beneath the roots of the oldest forests, there are hollow spaces hidden in the solid rock, known as geodes and caverns, which are the jewelry boxes of the planet. This chapter of our journey takes us into the absolute darkness of the underground world, where the silence is so deep it feels like a heavy blanket draped over the senses. Imagine drifting down through the layers of limestone and granite, passing through the history of the world until you reach a small, silent pocket of air trapped inside the stone. This is a geode. From the outside, it looks like a rough and ordinary potato-shaped rock, but inside it is lined with a glittering city of crystals. The science of crystal formation is the science of perfect order, and it is one of the most relaxing concepts in the natural world. On the chaotic surface of the earth, things are messy and unpredictable, but down here in the dark, the atoms line up in perfect rows and columns. This process is called nucleation. It begins when mineral-rich water seeps slowly through the cracks in the rock. This water is carrying dissolved silica or calcium or exotic metals, which are the ingredients of the crystals. The water enters the hollow cavity
and then it waits. It waits for the temperature to drop, or for the pressure to change, or for the water to slowly evaporate. This is not a process that happens in a day or a year. It takes thousands upon thousands of years for a single crystal to grow an inch. It is a slow-motion construction project governed by the laws of geometry. As you lie in the dark of your room, imagine the darkness of the crystal cavern. It is a peaceful darkness, a darkness that has never been broken by the harsh light of the sun. In this eternal night, the crystals grow. They pull molecules out of the water, one by one, and stack them in precise patterns. A quartz crystal is a spiral of silica tetrahedra, a shape that spirals up and up into a six-sided point. Imagine the patience required to build a structure, atom by atom. There is no rush in the cavern. There is no deadline. The crystals have all of time to become perfect. This is a lesson for us tonight. You do not need to rush to sleep. You do not need to force relaxation. You can just let it happen, slowly and naturally, just like the growth of an amethyst. Amethyst is a variety of quartz that has been touched by natural radiation and iron, turning it a deep and soothing purple. Visualize a cavern filled with these purple spikes. The color purple is scientifically proven to be calming to the human mind, and here in the earth, it grows in silence. The jagged edges of the crystals are sharp, but the feeling they evoke is one of soft luxury. They are the earth's hidden treasures, created not for an audience, but simply because the laws of chemistry dictate that they must exist. The environment inside a geode or a deep cave is strictly controlled. The temperature never changes. It remains a constant cool 55 degrees Fahrenheit or thereabouts, depending on the location. This stability is comforting. It is a place where the seasons do not exist. There is no winter storm and no summer heat wave, only the eternal cool dampness of the deep earth. The humidity is often near 100%, keeping the air thick and heavy. Breathing in a cave feels different. The air is filtered through miles of rock, making it the cleanest air on the planet. It is dust-free and pollen-free. It is air that has been purified by the earth itself. Listen to the sound of the cave.
It is the sound of a single drop of water falling from the ceiling. Drip. Then silence. Long seconds pass. Drip. This is the metronome of the underground. It is a clock that ticks so slowly that you lose track of time. Each drop brings a tiny amount of mineral, depositing it on the floor to build stalagmites, or leaving it on the ceiling to build stalactites. These formations are the pillars of the Earth's cathedral. They grow at a rate of a fraction of an inch per century. To watch them grow, you would have to sit still for 1,000 years. This scale of time makes our daily worries feel incredibly small and insignificant. The problems of today will be gone tomorrow, but the crystal growing in the dark will still be there, growing silently in the dark. There is a specific type of crystal cave found in Mexico called the Cave of the Crystals, where massive beams of selenite grow up to 30 feet long. Selenite is a form of gypsum, and it is named after Selene, the Greek goddess of the moon, because it glows with a soft, pearly white light. Imagine a room filled with giant moonbeams made of solid stone. These crystals are soft. You could scratch them with a fingernail. They are fragile giants protected by the earth. The atmosphere in such a place is heavy with humidity and heat, a womb of rock where these giants sleep. The science of their growth involves a very specific condition where the water was kept at a precise temperature for 500,000 years, allowing the gypsum to settle out of the solution continuously. It is a miracle of stability.
If the temperature had fluctuated even slightly, the crystals would have stopped growing. But the earth held them steady. The earth protected them, just as your room protects you now. Think of your bedroom as your own personal geode. You have built a shell around yourself to keep out the noise and the light and the chaos of the world. Inside this shell, you can find your own stillness. You can cultivate your own peace. The crystals teach us that beauty comes from the inside. The outside of the rock is rough and plain, but the inside is filled with light and color. When you close your eyes, you are looking inside your own geode. The darkness behind your eyelids is the same as the darkness in the cave. It is a canvas for your dreams. The lattice structure of a crystal is one of the strongest structures in nature. The atoms are bonded tight, holding on to each other with electromagnetic force. This strength gives the crystal its hardness and its durability. It is a solid object in a fluid world. When you hold a crystal in your hand, you are holding a piece of geologic time. You are holding a moment that was frozen millions of years ago. The vibration of crystals is often talked about in spiritual circles, but scientifically, everything vibrates. The atoms in the crystal are vibrating in place, humming a low-energy tune that is the sound of solid matter. It is a lullaby of stability. The colors of the underground are not just purple and white. There are emerald greens from copper, and deep reds from iron, and bright blues from azurite. It is a hidden rainbow that exists in the dark. It is beautiful even if no one sees it. This suggests that rest and beauty are valuable in and of themselves, not just because they are seen or productive. You are allowed to simply be. You are allowed to be still and dark and quiet like a crystal in a cave. The pressure deep underground is immense. The weight of the miles of rock pushing down from above is crushing.
But inside the geode, the pressure is equalized. The crystal pushes back with the strength of its lattice. There is a balance of forces. This pressure can be thought of as a deep tissue massage for the planet, or a weighted blanket that helps you sleep. It is a grounding force. It keeps the crystals rooted. They do not float away. They are anchored to the host rock. You are anchored to your bed. You are grounded by gravity. The formation of a crystal is also a purification process. As the crystal grows, it rejects impurities, pushing away the dirt and the other elements that do not fit into its perfect structure. The result is a pure substance. Sleep is your purification process. As you drift off, your brain washes away the toxins of the day, clearing out the thoughts that do not fit into your peace. You are crystallizing your mind, bringing order to your thoughts. The silence of the crystal caverns is not empty silence. It is a full silence. It is a silence that has mass and weight. It wraps around you, filling your ears with a soft, cottony sensation. In this silence, you can hear your own heartbeat. You can hear the slow rhythm of your breath. You become part of the cave. The water that drips in the cave eventually finds its way to an underground river, flowing silently through the dark channels of the crust. This water connects the isolated caves to the rest of the world, just as your dreams connect you to the collective unconscious. The underground world is vast and mostly unexplored. There are caverns beneath our feet that no human has ever seen, places of perfect, pristine beauty that exist solely for the earth. This mystery is soothing. We do not need to know everything. We do not need to map every inch. Some places are meant to be left alone. Some places are meant for sleep. The crystal caverns are the earth's way of dreaming. In the dark, the earth dreams of geometric perfection. It dreams of stars made of stone. It dreams of light trapped in rock. And you are invited to join this dream. Let your body become heavy like the rock. Let your bones feel as solid as the granite. Let your mind become as clear as the quartz.
The light is fading now. The cave is dark. The only light is the imaginary glow of the crystals in your mind, soft amethysts and gentle selenites pulsing with a faint inner light. The air is cool and fresh. The silence is absolute. You are safe in the hidden pocket of the world. You are a jewel in the earth's keeping. The time for growth is over. The time for movement is over. Now is the time for stillness. Now is the time to be like the stone, unmoving, unchanging, peaceful. The atoms in your body are slowing down. The energy is settling. You are entering a state of suspended animation, a hibernation that will refresh and restore you. The cave is closing around you, not to trap you, but to embrace you. The walls of the room dissolve into walls of glittering stone. You are deep, deep underground where the noise of the surface cannot reach you. There are no cars here. There are no voices. There are no phones. There is only the drip of the water and the slow growth of the crystals. Millions of years pass in a moment. The world turns above you, but you are still. You are the center of the geode. You are the calm heart of the crystal. Sleep now in the crystal cavern. Sleep in the earth's hidden jewelry box. Sleep in the perfect darkness where the only thing that matters is the slow and steady rhythm of your own deep rest. The crystals watch over you, silent sentinels of the deep. They have waited millions of years for this moment of peace, and they will wait millions more. You have all the time in the world. Rest, drift, sleep.
Deep beneath the solid rock of the crust, and far below the quiet caves where the crystals grow, lies the true heart of our planet, which is a vast and churning ocean of liquid iron and nickel. This is the outer core of the Earth, a place of intense heat and pressure, where the metal flows like water in a continuous and heavy rhythm. It is a place we will never see, but it is the reason we can sleep soundly at night. Imagine a ball of molten metal the size of Mars spinning deep inside the Earth. As the planet rotates, this liquid iron swirls and flows, creating an electric current that generates a massive, invisible force field known as the magnetosphere. This is the science of the geodynamo, the engine that powers the Earth's magnetic shield. This chapter of our story is about that shield and the beautiful light show it creates, called the aurora borealis. It is a magnetic lullaby that has been playing for billions of years. As you lie in your bed, visualize this magnetic field extending out from the Earth into the blackness of space. It loops out from the South Pole, curves high above the equator, and dives back down into the North Pole. It creates a giant protective bubble around our world. You cannot see it, and you cannot feel it, but it is there, holding you in a safe embrace. It is a cosmic umbrella that shields us from the storms of space. The sun is our star, and it is constantly breathing out a stream of charged particles known as the solar wind. These particles race across the 93 million miles of space between the sun and the Earth, traveling at speeds that defy imagination. If they were to hit the Earth directly, they would strip away our atmosphere and dry up our oceans. But they do not hit us, they hit our shield. Imagine the solar wind approaching the Earth like a stream of water hitting a smooth stone in a river. The water flows around the stone, leaving the space behind it calm and dry. The magnetosphere does the same thing. It catches the solar wind and deflects it, guiding the particles harmlessly around the planet. This is a feeling of ultimate protection. You are inside the bubble. The harshness of the universe is kept at bay by the spinning iron deep beneath your feet. It is a silent system of defense that never rests. It works while you work, and it works while you sleep.
The interaction between the solar wind and our magnetic field creates one of the most relaxing and hypnotic sights in nature, the Northern Lights. Let your mind travel now to the far north, to the snowy landscapes of Alaska or Canada or Scandinavia. It is the dead of winter, and the night is long and dark. The air is crisp and cold, but you are warm, watching the sky from a place of comfort. Above the frozen horizon, a faint green glow begins to appear. It starts as a pale ribbon of light drifting slowly across the stars. This is the aurora. It is the visible evidence that the Earth is protecting you. The science of this light is the science of atoms dancing. When the solar particles are caught by the magnetic field, they are funneled down towards the poles, where they crash into the gases of our atmosphere. When a solar particle hits an atom of oxygen high in the sky, it gives that atom a burst of energy.
The oxygen atom gets excited, and then, as it calms down, it releases that energy as a photon of light. This is the glow you see. It is the atmosphere breathing out light. Most of the time, the light is a soft and ghostly green, which is the color of oxygen singing in the dark. It is a color that the human eye is very sensitive to, a color that signals safety and nature. Imagine these green curtains hanging in the sky, draping down from the heavens like veils of silk. They do not stay still, they ripple and fold, moving with the unseen currents of the magnetic field. It is a slow-motion dance that creates no sound. That is the most magical part of the aurora, the silence. You might expect such a massive display of energy to crackle or thunder, but it is completely silent. It is a visual music, a symphony for the eyes only. The lights drift and swirl, changing shape from a simple arc to a complex spiral. Sometimes they look like a river of green fire flowing through the sky. Sometimes they look like the keys of a piano being played by a ghost. The movement is unpredictable, yet rhythmically soothing. It mimics the flow of water or the flickering of a candle flame. If the solar wind is strong, the lights might turn purple or red or blue. These colors come from nitrogen atoms being tickled by the solar storm. The purple edge of an aurora is a rare and beautiful sight, a deep violet hem on a curtain of green. As you watch this display in your mind, imagine the scale of it. These lights are happening 60 to 200 miles above the ground. They are towering structures of light that dwarf the tallest mountains, yet they are weightless, they are insubstantial. They are made of nothing but gas and energy. This is the magnetic lullaby. The Earth is singing you to sleep with light. The magnetic field lines act like the strings of a harp, and the solar wind plucks them, sending vibrations down to the poles to create the aurora. It is a cosmic connection between the sun and the Earth, a conversation between stars and planets. You are a tiny observer on the surface, safe beneath the atmosphere, watching the universe interact. The cold of the Arctic night contrasts with the warmth of your bed, making you feel even more snug and secure. The snow on the ground reflects the green light, turning the whole world into a soft emerald dreamscape. The silence of the snow adds to the silence of the sky. It is a double layer of quiet. The magnetic field is not just a shield, it is a guide. For eons, birds and sea turtles and whales have used this field to navigate the globe. They can feel the direction of the North Pole, and they follow the magnetic lines to find their way home. You too are being guided. You are being guided into sleep. The magnetic pull of the Earth is grounding you, keeping you centered on the mattress. The spinning core is a gyroscope that keeps the planet steady in its orbit. Stability is the theme of the night. The Earth is stable. The field is stable. The protection is stable. Even though the lights dance and move, they are part of a permanent system.
The aurora has flickered over the poles for as long as the Earth has had an atmosphere. Dinosaurs saw these lights. The first humans saw these lights, and now you see them. It connects you to the deep history of the planet. The term aurora borealis means the dawn of the north.
It is a false dawn, a nighttime dawn that promises beauty in the darkness. In the South Pole, there is the aurora australis, the dawn of the south, dancing over the frozen continent of Antarctica. So at both ends of the world, the Earth is crowned with light. It is a halo of energy. Imagine yourself floating high above the Earth, looking down at the North Pole. You see a glowing ring of green light circling the top of the world. It is a halo of protection. The solar wind streams past the planet like a river flowing around a rock. But inside the ring, everything is calm. The magnetic field is the ultimate filter. It lets in the light of the sun, which warms us, but it keeps out the radiation, which would harm us. It is a selective barrier. Sleep is also a selective barrier. It lets in the dreams and the restoration, but it blocks out the sensory input of the awake world. When you close your eyes, you are raising your own magnetic shield. You are deflecting the noise of the day. You are creating a quiet space for your mind to rest. The image of the waving green lights is a focal point for your meditation. Watch them fold and unfold. Watch them brighten and fade. There is no pattern to memorize. There is only the flow to follow. The lights are fluid, like the liquid iron in the core. Everything is connected. The spinning iron creates the field catches the wind creates the light, and the light soothes your soul. It is a chain of events that spans the solar system and ends in your dreams. The science of electromagnetism is often complex, with equations and vectors, but tonight it is simple. It is simply a force of care. The Earth cares for its life by holding up this shield. It consumes its own energy to keep the shield active. The core is cooling down very slowly to maintain this magnetic field. The Earth is giving of itself to keep you safe. That is a comforting thought. You are loved by the planet you live on. The magnetic lullaby is a song of belonging. You belong here, inside the field. You are a creature of the Earth, protected by its physics. The curtains of light are closing now. The show is ending, not because the lights are gone, but because your eyes are getting heavy. The green glow fades into a soft velvet black. The stars peek through the curtain. The solar wind continues to blow, but it flows silently around you. The iron core continues to spin, deep, deep down. The rhythm is established. The shield is holding. The night is yours. You are safe from the cosmic rays. You are safe from the cold of space. You are wrapped in a blanket of air and a blanket of magnetism. The aurora is the night light of the world, left on to remind you that the forces of nature are watching over you. Let the colors bleed into your dreams. Let the silence of the high atmosphere fill your room. Let the slow drift of the ions become the slow drift of your thoughts. The magnetic north is a fixed point, a destination of rest. Your compass is pointing towards sleep. Follow the needle, follow the field lines, drift along the invisible currents of the magnetosphere. The light is beautiful, but the dark is restful. The show is over, and the peace remains. The magnetic lullaby hums a final low note, a vibration that you feel rather than hear. It resonates in your bones. It tells you that all is well. It tells you that the system is functioning. It tells you to let go. Sleep now under the watch of the magnetic field.
Sleep now beneath the dancing lights. Sleep now in the safety of the Earth's embrace.
We have traveled from the silent dust of the nebula to the fiery cooling of the crust, and we have watched the sky fill with air and the magnetic lights dance above the poles. But now it is time to leave the surface behind entirely. It is time to sink. We are going to descend into the deepest and most quiet place on the planet, a place where the sun has not shone for hundreds of millions of years. This is the journey to the midnight zone and beyond, into the crushing but comforting embrace of the Mariana Trench. Imagine yourself floating on the surface of the warm blue ocean, where the waves rock you gently. Now imagine that you begin to sink slowly and effortlessly beneath the waves. The noise of the wind and the birds instantly vanishes, replaced by the muffled quiet of the underwater world. As you descend, the water turns from a bright turquoise to a rich, deep royal blue. You are passing through the sunlight zone, where the fish swim and the coral grows. But we are going deeper than that. We are going down to where the true rest begins. The blue water fades into indigo, a color that is dark and heavy, like the sky just before full night sets in. This is the twilight zone. The light here is faint, a mere memory of the sun above. You are weightless, suspended in the liquid space, drifting down like a leaf falling in slow motion through heavy air. Deeper still, the indigo fades into black, absolute ink black. You have entered the midnight zone, known to science as the bathypelagic zone. Here, there is no day and no night. There is only the eternal stillness of the deep. It is a place of permanent pause. The water here is cold, hovering just above freezing, but in your imagination, it feels refreshing, a cooling balm against the fever of the day. But the most important sensation here is not the dark or the cold, it is the pressure. On land, we often think of pressure as stress, something that pushes us down and wears us out. But in the deep ocean, pressure is something entirely different. It is a hug. It is a uniform force that presses in on you from every single direction at once, holding you together. Imagine the weight of all that water, miles and miles of it stacked above you. It acts like the heaviest weighted blanket in the world. This is the science of hydrostatic pressure. At the bottom of the trench, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. It is a force that commands stillness. It is a force that says you do not need to move. You do not need to hold yourself up because the water is holding you. It supports every inch of your skin, every muscle, and every bone. You are swaddled in the density of the sea. The deeper you go, the heavier and safer you feel. It is a tightness that squeezes the tension right out of your body. Let yourself fall deeper now, past the midnight zone and into the abyss. The word abyss comes from the Greek meaning bottomless, but there is a bottom, and it is waiting to catch you. We are heading for the Challenger Deep, the deepest point in the Mariana Trench, 7 miles beneath the surface of the Pacific. It is a long, slow fall through the dark. In this darkness, there are tiny lights. These are the bioluminescent creatures of the deep, the fireflies of the ocean. They drift past you like stars in a black sky. There are jellyfish that pulse with a soft, rhythmic blue light, beating like a slow heart in the void. There are anglerfish that carry their own lanterns, drifting lazily in the currents. These creatures do not rush. They have adapted to the high pressure by moving slowly, by conserving their energy. They teach us that in the deep, there is no need for speed. Life here is slow. Metabolism is slow. Time itself seems to stretch out and slow down under the weight of the water. Watch the tiny lights flicker and fade, hypnotic points of focus in the endless black. You are passing through a shower of marine snow.
This is the scientific name for the organic debris that falls continuously from the surface to the seafloor. It looks like white snowflakes drifting down in the dark, unending and silent. It is the dust of the ocean falling softly to feed the deep. Watching it is mesmerizing, like watching a snowfall at night where the flakes disappear into the shadows. The marine snow falls at a speed of only a few meters per day. It is a rhythm of patience. It reminds you that nature recycles everything, that nothing is wasted, and that everything eventually settles. We are approaching the bottom now, the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the underworld. But this is not a place of fear. It is a place of solitude. It is the most private place on Earth. Fewer people have been here than have been to the moon. It is a sanctuary of silence. Sound travels fast in water, but here there is nothing to make a sound. There are no crashing waves, no howling winds, no engines, no voices. There is only the silence of the geology. The bottom of the trench is covered in a soft, silky mud called diatomaceous ooze. It is the accumulated sediment of millions of years. Imagine your feet touching down gently on this soft floor. You have landed. You are standing in the deepest valley of the world. The walls of the trench rise up around you, miles high, invisible in the dark, cradling you in a canyon of rock and water. The pressure here is immense, 8 tons per square inch. It holds you perfectly still. You are locked in a state of rest. The water is heavy and dense, acting almost like a solid, supporting you so completely that you feel dissolved into it. You are part of the ocean now. The water inside yourselves matches the pressure of the water outside. You are in equilibrium. This is the feeling of deep sleep, the delta wave sleep, where the brain slows down to its lowest frequency. The midnight zone of the ocean corresponds to the midnight zone of the mind. It is the place where dreams are not even formed yet, where there is only black, peaceful nothingness. The water is a barrier between you and the world above. The sun cannot reach you here. The storms cannot reach you here. The noise of civilization is 7 miles away, filtered out by the layers of the sea. You are insulated. You are hidden. There is a profound comfort in being hidden. In this darkness, you do not have to perform. You do not have to be anyone. You just have to exist. The cold, deep water preserves things. Shipwrecks in the deep ocean do not rot. They sit perfectly preserved in the low oxygen environment. In the same way, this deep sleep preserves you. It halts the aging process of the day, keeping you suspended in a state of restoration. The biology of the deep is strange and wonderful. There are single-celled organisms here called xenophytophores that grow to the size of softballs, simple giant cells that just sit in the mud and exist.
They are the masters of minimalism. Be like them. Simplify your existence down to the bare essentials: breath, heartbeat, darkness, quiet. The tectonic plates meet here in the trench. The Pacific Plate is sliding slowly beneath the Mariana Plate, diving down into the mantle. This is a subduction zone, the recycling center of the crust. Even the rock is finding a place to rest here, returning to the warmth of the Earth's interior. You are standing on a conveyor belt of geology that moves slower than a growing fingernail. It is a stability that spans eons. As you lie in the imaginary mud of the Challenger Deep, look up. You cannot see the surface. You cannot see the moon. You are wrapped in a cocoon of water that is as thick as the height of Mount Everest. That much water creates a shield that nothing can penetrate. You are safe in the basement of the world.
The water molecules around you are packed tight, closer together than water at the surface. They are dense and sluggish. They dampen every vibration. This acoustic dampening means that even if you shout it, the sound would be swallowed up instantly by the heavy water. It is a place where silence is enforced by physics. Let the pressure squeeze your shoulders, gently pushing them down away from your ears. Let the pressure compress your chest slightly, encouraging you to exhale fully. Let the weight of the ocean press your eyelids shut. It is a heavy, tired feeling, but it is a good tiredness. It is the feeling of having arrived at the end of a long journey. You do not need to swim anymore. You do not need to tread water. You can just sink. You can just settle. The bottom of the ocean is the ultimate destination of gravity. Everything that falls eventually lands here. You have landed. You are grounded in the deepest sense of the word. The abyss is not empty. It is full of peace. It is full of water that has traveled the world for thousands of years via the global conveyor belt currents, only to settle here in the dark for a 1,000-year rest. This water is old. It has seen the Vikings and the dinosaurs and the ice ages, and now it is resting. You are resting with it. The mystery of the deep adds to its comfort. We do not know what else lives down here in the dark cracks of the trench. That unknowing is a release. You do not need to know. You can let the mystery be. You can let the dark be dark. The pressure is a constant, unvarying hug. It does not fluctuate. It is reliable. The midnight zone is the time for the brain to wash itself clean, just as the ocean currents wash the seabed. The cerebrospinal fluid in your brain flows more freely during sleep, clearing out the waste products of the day, mimicking the flow of the tides. You are flushing out the noise. You are diving into the quiet. The sensory deprivation of the deep ocean is the ultimate therapy. No light, no sound, no temperature changes, just constant, heavy nothingness. It is a blank slate, a black screen, a reset button for the soul. The heavy water supports your spine, aligning your vertebrae. You are weightless, yet held. You are flying in the dark. The descent is over. You are here. You are safe. The crushing pressure is actually a stabilizing force, holding your atoms together, keeping you whole. The Mariana Trench is the cradle of the deep rock, a scar on the planet that has become a sanctuary. Let the darkness wrap around you like the softest velvet. Let the cold be a refreshing pillow for your head. Let the silence fill your ears until you can hear the blood pumping in your veins, slow and steady. You are a diver who has gone too deep to return tonight. You must stay here. You must sleep here in the underwater cathedral of the abyss. The surface is a dream, a distant memory of light and noise. The reality is here in the comfortable dark. The reality is the midnight zone. Stay here, float here, rest here, in the pressure of the deep ocean, where the water is still and the world is quiet and the night never ends.
We leave the crushing darkness of the deep ocean now and rise back to the surface. But the world we find is not the lush and green planet we know today. We have traveled back in time to the Cryogenian period, a chapter in Earth's history so quiet and so still that scientists call it the Snowball Earth. This was the era when the planet decided to hibernate. Imagine the globe turning slowly in space, completely wrapped in a thick and heavy blanket of white. From the North Pole to the South Pole, and even across the warm equator, the ice sheets stretched out, covering the continents and the oceans in a unified layer of frost.
This is the story of the great slowing down. The heat of the previous eras had faded, and the Earth entered a deep and restorative coma. There is something profoundly relaxing about the concept of an ice age, because it represents a pause in the frantic pace of evolution. It was a time when the biology of the world took a long nap. As you lie in your warm bed tonight, imagine the air outside your window dropping in temperature, becoming crisp and clean and still. The humidity leaves the air, turning into tiny crystals of ice that dance in the void. This is the science of crystallization on a planetary scale. The water that once flowed in roaring rivers and crashed in stormy waves was now locked in place, frozen into solid statues of blue and white. The movement of the world stopped. The rivers paused in their courses. The waterfalls hung suspended in midair like chandeliers of glass. This sensation of freezing is not about being cold, it is about being still. It is about the cessation of struggle. When water freezes, it organizes itself. The molecules slow down their chaotic vibration and lock into a hexagonal lattice structure. They hold hands with their neighbors and become solid. This is a lesson in stability. The ice sheet that covered the Earth was miles thick, a heavy weight that pressed down on the crust. We have talked about the pressure of the ocean, but the pressure of the ice is different. It is a grounding force. It pushed the continents down into the mantle, creating a depression in the Earth. It is a feeling of being tucked in. The ice is the blanket, and the Earth is the sleeper. Let yourself feel that weight now. It is the weight of a heavy duvet or a thick woolen quilt. It makes you feel secure. It makes you feel held. The visual landscape of the cryogenian Earth was one of absolute purity. There was no dirt visible, no mud, no gray city streets. There was only the pristine white of fresh snow and the deep electric blue of compressed glacier ice. It was a world of light. The sun would shine down on the white surface, and the light would bounce back into space. This is called the albedo effect. The Earth became a mirror, reflecting the chaos of the universe away, leaving the surface calm and untouched. Imagine walking across this frozen landscape. Your breath comes out in white clouds that vanish into the air. The silence is the most overwhelming feature. Snow has a unique acoustic property that makes it the perfect material for sleep. It is a natural sound damper. The structure of a snowflake is complex, with tiny pockets of air trapped between the crystals. When sound waves hit the snow, they do not bounce off, they are absorbed. They get trapped in the maze of ice crystals and fade away. This is why the world sounds so quiet after a heavy snowfall. The sharp noises of the world are muffled. The cars and the sirens and the voices are silenced.
During the Ice Age, this silence covered the entire planet. There was no sound of crashing waves because the ocean was capped with ice. There was no sound of wind in the trees because the forests were sleeping beneath the snow. There was only the sound of the wind whispering over the drifts and the occasional crack of a shifting glacier. It was a library of silence, a sanctuary of peace. Listen to that silence in your mind. It is a white noise, a soft static that blocks out everything else. It wraps around your ears like earmuffs. It creates a private space where only you exist. The glaciers themselves are fascinating rivers of ice. They look solid, but they move. They flow downhill under their own massive weight, but they move so slowly that you cannot see it. They move at a glacial pace, which has become a phrase meaning the ultimate slowness. A glacier might move only a few inches a day. It is a movement that requires no effort, no rush, and no stress. It just happens. The ice scrapes against the bedrock, grinding the rough stones into fine powder. This is the Earth exfoliating itself. The ice smooths the mountains. It carves the valleys into gentle U-shapes. It rounds off the sharp edges of the world. The Ice Age was a time of smoothing. It prepared the landscape for the future, creating the rolling hills and the deep lakes that we find so beautiful today. But for now, in our story, the work is being done in secret, beneath the white cover. The cold of the Ice Age is a preserving cold. We use freezers to keep things fresh, to stop the decay, to stop the aging. The Earth used the Ice Age to preserve itself. The microbes and the simple life forms that existed back then went into a state of dormancy. They slowed their metabolism down to almost zero. They waited. They did not fight the cold. They became one with it. This is a lesson for sleep. Do not fight the stillness. Be like the dormant seed beneath the snow. Slow your thoughts down. Cool your mind down. Let the frantic energy of the day freeze into a solid block of peace. The colors of this era are soothing to the eyes, white and blue and gray. The sky was often a pale, milky white, filled with ice fog. The sun was a soft, diffused glow, not a harsh spotlight. There were no bright neon colors to distract the eye. It was a minimalist world, a world of simple shapes and simple shades. This visual simplicity helps the brain to relax. It clears the visual cortex. There is nothing to process. There is only the white horizon stretching out forever. Imagine that you are looking out over a vast field of snow that has no footprints in it. It is perfectly smooth. It is a clean slate. Whatever mistakes you made today are covered by the snow. Whatever worries you have about tomorrow are hidden by the storm. There is only the now, the frozen, eternal now. The temperature gradient of the Earth changed during this time. The poles expanded their influence, bringing the cool logic of the Arctic to the chaotic tropics. The world became uniform. Uniformity is relaxing. It means there are no surprises. You know exactly what to expect. Ice, snow, silence. The feeling of the cold air entering your lungs is refreshing. It wakes up your senses only to soothe them. It feels clean. It feels pure. Inside your home, inside your bed, you are warm. The contrast between the imaginary cold outside and the real warmth inside creates a feeling of luxury. You are safe from the elements. You are a warm spark in a cold universe. The weight of the glaciers depressed the crust, but when the ice eventually melted, the land rebounded. It rose back up. This is called isostatic rebound. It shows us that the Earth is resilient. It can carry a heavy burden for a long time and then spring back. You too can carry the burdens of the day and then release them. You can let the weight melt away. But for this chapter, we stay in the cold. We stay in the comfort of the freeze. The water cycle slowed down. The evaporation from the oceans was minimal. The clouds were few, but when they formed, they dropped snow, not rain. The snow piled up, layer upon layer. The bottom layers were crushed by the weight of the top layers, turning into blue ice. This blue ice is dense and hard. It holds air bubbles from millions of years ago. It holds the atmosphere of the past. It is a time capsule. If you were to look into a piece of glacier ice, you would see bubbles of ancient air trapped in the blue glass. It is a frozen memory. The Ice Age was a time of introspection for the planet, a time to look inward, a time to rest. The chaotic volcanic activity of the past was dampened by the ice caps. The fire was hidden. The anger of the earth was cooled. The planet was taking a deep breath and holding it. The acoustic dampening effect extends to the mind. When you visualize snow, your thoughts become quieter. The sharp edges of your anxiety are softened. The loud voices of your stress are muffled. The snow absorbs it all. It covers everything in a layer of hush. Shh. The snow is falling. Can you hear it?
It makes a tiny ticking sound as it hits the ground, a whisper, a sigh. The flakes are landing on your eyelashes. They are landing on your roof. They are burying the world in peace. The cryogenian period lasted for millions of years. It was not a fleeting winter, it was an age. This tells us that rest is not a waste of time. Rest is a geological necessity. The Earth needed this time to reset. You need this time to reset. You are entering your own personal ice age tonight, a period of hibernation where you shut down the systems you do not need. You turn off the lights, you close the curtains, you lower the temperature, you pull up the blankets. You are mimicking the planet. The science of cryogenics tells us that cold slows down molecular motion. Your body temperature drops naturally as you fall asleep. You are aligning with the thermal history of the Earth. Let the cold seep into your imagination, numbing the worries, freezing the fears. They cannot move in the ice. They are stuck. You are free. You are warm. The landscape of the mind is white and smooth. There are no obstacles. There are no mountains to climb tonight. They are all covered in snow. You can glide. You can drift. The friction of life is gone. Ice is slippery. It lets things slide. Let things slide tonight. Let the day slide away. Let the past slide away. The age of ice is a promise of stillness. It is the Earth promising you that it is okay to stop. It is okay to be unproductive. It is okay to just be. The snow does not try to be anything else. It just falls. It just rests. The ice does not try to move. It just sits. Be like the ice, heavy, still, cool. The white blanket is tucking you in. The silence is filling the room. The history of the world is paused. The sound of the wind is a lullaby. The cold is a comfort. The dark is a friend. You are safe in the long winter of the soul, where nothing can hurt you and nothing can disturb you. The snow keeps falling softly, steadily, covering the ground, covering the world, covering your dreams in a layer of soft, white peace. Sleep now in the age of ice. Sleep now in the quiet of the snow. Sleep now.
The ice has retreated, and the heavy blanket of snow has melted away, revealing the raw and jagged landscape of the Earth. But the planet is not finished with its work of art yet. We enter now into the era of the wind and the water, the age of the gentle shaping known to science as erosion. This is the story of how the rough edges of the world are smoothed down over millions of years. It is a story of infinite patience. Imagine standing in the middle of a vast and quiet desert, where the only sound is the soft hiss of the wind moving across the sand. This is the most relaxing sound in nature, the sound of the air caressing the ground. The wind is the sculptor of the earth. It carries tiny grains of sand, which are actually microscopic crystals of quartz, and it blows them gently against the solid rock. This process is called aeolian abrasion. It sounds technical, but it is simply the wind polishing the stone. Think of a carpenter sanding a piece of wood, making it smooth to the touch. The wind does the same thing to the mountains. It takes the sharp peaks and the jagged cliffs and slowly, very slowly rubs them down. As you lie in your bed, imagine the feeling of a rough surface becoming smooth. It is a satisfying sensation. The earth hates a sharp edge. Nature prefers the curve. Look at the sand dunes in your mind's eye. They are soft, undulating waves of gold and orange. There are no straight lines in a dune. Everything is rounded. Everything flows. The wind moves the sand grain by grain in a process called saltation. One grain jumps and hits another, and they move together in a slow migration.
It is a dance of particles. The dunes move across the desert floor, but they move so slowly that you would have to watch for 100 years to see them change. This is the pace of geology. It is a pace that invites you to sleep. It tells you that there is no rush to get anywhere. The dune will get there when it gets there. The wind will shape the rock when it shapes the rock. The result of this patience is beauty. The great sandstone arches of Utah and the flowing canyons of Arizona were carved by this slow persistence. They are monuments to time. They show us that soft things like air and water can overcome hard things like stone if they are just patient enough. Water is the other great smoother. Visualize a river flowing down from a high mountain. Up at the source, the rocks are sharp and angular, broken off from the cliffs. But as they tumble down the riverbed, they begin a journey of transformation. They bump against each other in the current. Clack, clack. It is a gentle percussion. Every time they touch, a tiny microscopic piece of the rough edge is knocked off. The water acts as a cushion, softening the blow. Mile after mile and year after year, the rock tumbles. It rolls over and over in the mud. It slides over the moss. It is washed by the clean, cold water. By the time the rock reaches the valley floor, it has become a pebble. Pick up this pebble in your mind. Feel it in your hand. It is perfectly round. It is cool and smooth. There are no sharp corners left to poke you. It is a worry stone made by the river. Rub your thumb over the surface. It feels like silk. It feels like glass. This pebble is a testament to the relaxing power of friction. It teaches us that the bumps and the sharp edges of our lives will eventually be worn away. The river of time smooths everything. The worries that feel so sharp and painful today will be rounded off by tomorrow and the day after. They will become small, manageable pebbles that you can hold in your hand or toss back into the stream. The science of sedimentation is the science of letting things settle. After the rocks are worn down into sand, the river carries the sand to the sea. There, the water slows down. The energy dissipates. The sand grains drift down to the bottom and settle into a soft, flat layer. This is the formation of a beach. A beach is simply a collection of rocks that have found peace. They have finished their tumbling. They have reached the ocean. Imagine walking barefoot on this soft sand. The grains mold to the shape of your feet. It is the most comfortable surface in the world. The ocean waves lap against the shore with a rhythmic shushing sound. Shh, shh. The water comes in and the water goes out. It is the breath of the planet. With every wave, the sand is rearranged slightly, smoothed out even more. If you write your name in the sand, the water will come and wash it away, leaving the canvas clean again. This is the forgiveness of erosion. It wipes the slate clean. It removes the footprints. It restores the smooth perfection of the shore. There is a specific kind of erosion that creates sea glass. Imagine a piece of sharp, broken glass falling into the ocean. It is dangerous and jagged, but the ocean takes it. The waves tumble it back and forth over the sand. They roll it and rub it. Over 10 or 20 or 50 years, the glass changes. The sharp edges disappear. The surface becomes frosted and soft. It turns into a jewel. It becomes something you want to hold. This is what sleep does to your mind. You enter the night with sharp thoughts and jagged worries, but the waves of sleep tumble you gently. They roll you back and forth in the deep cycles of REM and non-REM sleep. They polish your thoughts. When you wake up, the edges are gone. The thoughts are smooth. You have been turned into sea glass. The wind also creates soundscapes that lull us to sleep. The sound of wind passing through a canyon is a low, mournful hum that resonates in the chest. It is a brown noise, a frequency that masks all other distractions. It is the earth singing to itself. The wind blowing through the needles of a pine forest sounds like the ocean. It is a soft rushing sound called samarism. It is a word as gentle as the sound itself. Listening to this sound lowers your heart rate. It tells your primitive brain that you are safe. The predator cannot hear you over the wind. You are hidden. You are protected. The landscape of erosion is a landscape of curves. Look at the rolling hills of the grasslands. They were once jagged mountains, but time and rain have softened them into gentle slopes. They look like sleeping giants covered in green velvet. The eye glides over them without stopping. There is no visual tension. This is why we find landscapes beautiful. We love the smooth. We love the round. We love the evidence that the world is gentle. The Grand Canyon is the masterpiece of erosion. It is a mile-deep hole carved by a river acting over 6 million years. It reveals the layers of the earth like pages in a book. Looking at it puts our human lifespan into perspective. We are here for a blink of an eye. The rock is here forever. This perspective is relaxing. It takes the weight of the world off your shoulders. You do not have to hold up the canyon. It holds itself up. You do not have to push the river. It flows by itself.
The forces of nature are working for you. The wind is blowing for you. The water is flowing for you. You can resign from the job of managing the world. You can lay down your tools. You can let the erosion happen. The dust that dances in a sunbeam is the result of this process. Tiny particles of earth floating in the light. They are weightless. Be like the dust. Let gravity take you. Let the air currents carry you. There is no resistance in the dust. It goes where the wind goes. The patience of the stone is infinite. It sits in the desert for 1,000 years, waiting for the wind to change it. It does not complain. It does not hurry. It just sits. Be like the stone. Sit in your bed. Lie in your bed. Wait for the sleep to change you. The process of erosion is a subtraction. It removes what is not necessary. It takes away the excess. It simplifies. Sleep is a subtraction. It takes away the sensory input. It takes away the conscious control. It simplifies you down to a breathing, sleeping being. The smooth pebbles on a riverbed fit together perfectly. They nestle against each other, finding the most comfortable position. You can nestle into your mattress. Find the spot where your body fits perfectly. Let the bedding mold to your shape, just as the sand molds to the stone. The friction of the day is gone. The heat is gone. Now there is only the cool, smooth feeling of rest. The wind outside your window tonight is the same wind that shapes the sandstone. It is a connection to the ancient forces. It is blowing the clouds across the moon. It is whispering through the eaves of your house. Let it blow. Let it carry your thoughts away like grains of sand. Let them drift over the horizon. You do not need them right now. They will be rounder when they come back. They will be softer. The science of geomorphology creates the shapes of our world. It creates the mesas and the buttes and the valleys. These are resting places for the eyes. A valley is a cradle, a bowl carved out of the earth to hold the fog and the shadows. You are lying in a valley of pillows. You are safe in the low ground. The wind passes over you, not through you. You are sheltered. The erosion of the coastline creates coves and harbors. These are places of shelter for ships, places where the water is calm. You are in a harbor now. The breakwater of your home protects you from the open ocean. The water here is still. The boat of your consciousness is tied up at the dock. The ropes are slack. The tide is high. The gentle rocking of the boat is the only movement.
The sand on the bottom of the harbor is soft and deep. The anchor holds. The patience of the earth is your patience. You have nowhere else to be. The night is long. The process is slow. Let the wind smooth your brow. Let the water wash your spirit. The rough stone of your day is being turned into a gem. The sharp anxiety is being washed away. You are becoming smooth. You are becoming round. You are becoming soft. The wind whispers the word sleep. The water whispers the word peace. The sand whispers the word rest. The elements are conspiring to help you. They are working in harmony. The jagged peaks are gone. The world is a rolling plain of soft grass and smooth stones. Walk across it in your dreams. Feel the softness. Feel the age of the earth. The wind is dying down now. The sand is settling. The river is flowing quietly. The erosion has done its work. The world is smooth. You are smooth. Sleep now in the patience of the earth. Sleep now in the gentle hands of the wind. Sleep.
We have walked across the frozen ice, and we have drifted over the smooth sands of the desert. But now the world begins to wake up in a new and vibrant way. We are traveling back 300 million years to the Carboniferous period, a time when the Earth took its deepest and longest breath. This is the era of the green lung. Imagine opening your eyes and seeing a world that is entirely green. There are no flowers yet and no grasses, just a vast and endless ocean of giant ferns and towering club mosses and trees that touch the sky. This is the global forest, a canopy so thick that it traps the humidity and creates a warm and misty greenhouse. The air here is rich and heavy. It is filled with oxygen. In fact, the oxygen levels are so high that the air feels almost intoxicatingly pure. As you lie in your bed, imagine taking a deep breath of this ancient air. It fills your lungs completely, expanding your chest and bringing a wave of relaxation to every cell in your body. This chapter of our story is about the silent and rhythmic miracle of photosynthesis. It is a chemical lullaby that plays in every leaf and every blade of green on the planet. The science of photosynthesis is the science of light becoming life. It is the most important chemical reaction in the universe for us, and it happens without a sound. Imagine a single leaf on a giant fern. It is broad and flat and emerald green. The color green comes from a molecule called chlorophyll, which is the magic ingredient of the forest. Chlorophyll has the unique ability to catch a photon of light that has traveled 93 million miles from the sun. When the light hits the leaf, the chlorophyll vibrates with energy. It captures that solar warmth and holds it. This is the beginning of the process. The leaf also drinks in water from the damp soil, pulling it up through the roots and the trunk in a slow defiance of gravity. And then the leaf opens its tiny microscopic mouths. These mouths are called stomata. They are located on the underside of the leaf, and they open and close just like your eyelids. When they are open, the leaf breathes in. It breathes in carbon dioxide, the gas that we exhale. This is the beautiful partnership of the planet. What we release, the trees accept. What we consider waste, the forest considers food. Inside the leaf, the carbon dioxide mixes with the water and the sunlight. This is where the alchemy happens. In a slow and gentle reaction, the carbon is stripped away to build the body of the tree, and the oxygen is released back into the air. This release is the outbreath of the forest. Visualize this happening on a global scale. Billions of trees breathing in unison. The entire continent of North America, which was then part of the supercontinent, was covered in these swampy forests. They inhaled the carbon, and they exhaled the fresh, clean oxygen that makes life possible. It is a slow rhythm. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale.
The forest is a single giant organism, breathing in time with the rotation of the earth. This rhythm is slower than your heartbeat. It is slower than your breath. It is the metabolic rate of the plant kingdom. It is a pace that invites you to slow down. The plants are in no hurry. They build their trunks ring by ring and layer by layer. The Carboniferous forest was a place of profound silence. There were no birds singing in the trees yet, and no monkeys calling out. There was only the sound of the wind rustling the giant fronds and the soft hum of ancient insects. The sound of wind in the trees is a form of white noise that creates a curtain of privacy.
It blocks out the sharp noises of the world. It is a shushing sound. Shh. The trees are comforting you. The science of this period is also the science of storage. The trees took the carbon from the air and locked it away in their wood. When they died, they fell into the swampy water, where they did not rot, but instead turned into peat, and then eventually into coal. The energy that powers our world today is simply the sunlight from the Carboniferous period stored in the ground. It is ancient sunshine. It is a battery that was charged 300 million years ago. But tonight, we are not thinking about the energy, we are thinking about the peace. The high oxygen concentration of that era created an atmosphere that was thick and protective. It wrapped the world in a heavy blanket of air. A thicker atmosphere means that sound does not travel as well, which creates a natural dampening effect. The world was muffled. It was a soft world. The moss on the ground acted like a thick green carpet, absorbing every footstep. Imagine walking through this forest. Your feet sink gently into the moss. It is cool and damp. The air smells like rain and crushed leaves. It is the smell of life. It is the smell of freshness. This scent is known as petrichor, and it triggers a deep instinctual relaxation in the human brain. It tells us that there is water nearby, that there is shelter, that we are safe. The light in the forest is filtered. It comes down in shafts of gold, piercing the green canopy. This green light is soothing to the eyes. The color green sits right in the middle of the visible light spectrum, which means our eyes do not have to work hard to see it. It is the color of rest. As the sun moves across the sky, the shadows of the ferns lengthen and shift. The forest is a clock that measures time in shadows. When the sun goes down, the photosynthesis stops. The solar panels of the leaves shut down for the night. But the work of the forest continues in the dark. This is called the Calvin cycle, or the dark reaction. Deep inside the plant cells, the energy captured during the day is used to build sugar. It is a sweet process. The plants are feeding themselves while they sleep. You too are entering your dark reaction. As you sleep, your body uses the energy of the day to repair your cells, to build your memories, and to restore your strength. You are like the tree. You have a cycle of light and a cycle of dark. Both are necessary. The stomata close at night to save water. The forest holds its breath. The humidity rises. A mist forms over the swamp. This mist is a blanket within a blanket. It holds the warmth of the day close to the ground. You can feel this warmth. It is a humid, tropical warmth that loosens your muscles. It creates a sauna-like effect that melts away the tension in your shoulders and your back. The trees of the Carboniferous were giants. The lepidodendron tree grew to over 100 feet tall, but it was not made of hard wood like an oak. It was made of soft, spongy tissue. It was a soft tree. Even the giants of this time were gentle. They stood in the shallow water, their roots spreading out wide to anchor them in the soft mud. They teach us that you do not need to be hard to be strong. You can be soft and still reach the sky. The forest acts as a filter. It filters the air, removing dust and pollutants. It filters the water, cleaning it as it trickles through the soil. And it filters the noise. When you are in a forest,
You feel cleaner. You feel clearer.
The mental fog lifts. The oxygen you are breathing right now in your bedroom has passed through the leaves of a plant somewhere. It is a gift from the green world. There is an invisible thread connecting your lungs to the leaves of the forest. Every time you breathe out, you are feeding a tree. Every time you breathe in, a tree is feeding you. This connection means you are never alone. You are part of a symbiotic loop. You are supported by the biology of the planet. The feeling of the forest is one of embrace. The trees surround you. They stand like sentinels guarding your sleep. They form a wall between you and the open plain. In our evolutionary history, the trees were our safety. We climbed them to escape predators. We slept in their branches. The safety of the canopy is hardwired into your DNA. When you imagine the leaves above you, you feel protected. You feel hidden. The green lung is expanding and contracting. The chest of the earth is rising and falling. Join this rhythm. Slow your breathing to match the slow chemistry of the leaves. The oxygen enters your bloodstream, carrying calm to your brain. It creates a feeling of lightness. The carbon dioxide leaves your body, carrying away the stress. The exchange is effortless. It happens automatically. You do not have to think about it. The intelligence of your body knows what to do. The intelligence of the forest knows what to do. The Carboniferous period lasted for 60 million years. It was a time of stability. The climate was steady. The forests were eternal. This stability is the ground you rest on. The earth has provided for life for a very long time. It provides the air. It provides the water. It provides the shelter. You can trust the earth. You can let go of your control. The chemistry will continue without you. The trees will grow without you. The air will cycle without you. This is a relief. You are free to resign from the job of keeping the world turning. You can just be a passenger. You can just be a breather. The mist of the ancient swamp is closing in now, obscuring the trunks of the giant ferns. The world is fading into a soft green blur. The only thing that remains is the rhythm, the slow pulse of the biology. The forest is a green cathedral, a place of worship for the silence. The pillars are the tree trunks, the roof is the leaves, the music is the wind. You are the traveler finding rest in the sanctuary. The green is fading to black as the night takes over. The chlorophyll is resting. The oxygen is thick and cool. The bed you lie in is made of plant fibers, of cotton or wood. You are resting on the forest. You are wrapped in the harvest of the photosynthesis. The loop is closed. The connection is complete. The green lung has filled you with peace. It has purified your mind. It has prepared you for the deep sleep of the ages. Let the image of the giant silent fern be the last thing you see, a perfect green spiral unfolding in the mist, unfolding into dreams, unfolding into sleep. The forest holds you. The air sustains you. The night protects you. Sleep now in the arms of the ancient green world. Sleep. We have walked through the ancient forests and felt the breath of the trees, but now we must turn our eyes upward to the night sky, where a silent guardian waits to guide us into the deepest part of our rest. High above the sleeping world hangs the moon, a sphere of gray dust and cratered rock that reflects the sun's light in a soft and silver glow. This chapter of our story is about the invisible bond between the Earth and the Moon, a relationship of gravity and motion that creates the rhythm of the tides. It is a cosmic dance that has been performed for 4.5 billion years, and tonight you are part of that dance. The science of this connection is known as orbital mechanics, but it feels like a lullaby. Imagine an invisible string stretching from the center of the moon to the center of the Earth. This string is gravity, the universal force of attraction that holds the cosmos together. It is not a rigid chain, but a flexible tether, a gentle pull that reaches across 239,000 miles of empty space. As the moon travels around the Earth in its slow elliptical orbit, it pulls on everything on our planet. It pulls on the rocks and the trees, and it pulls on you. But the Earth is solid and stubborn, so it does not move much. The ocean, however, is fluid. The ocean is yielding. When the moon calls, the ocean answers. This is the mechanism of the tides. As the moon passes overhead, its gravity lifts the water of the ocean upward, creating a massive bulge of water that follows the path of the satellite. Imagine the surface of the sea rising up to meet the sky, drawn by the affection of the moon. This rising is the high tide. It is the inhalation of the planet. Just as your chest rises when you take a deep breath, the chest of the world rises with the tide. It is a slow and deliberate movement. It takes 6 hours for the tide to come in. This is a rhythm that is too slow to watch, but perfect to feel. Close your eyes and synchronize your breathing with this image. As you breathe in, visualize the water rising in the harbors and the bays, filling the empty spaces with cool, refreshing seawater. As you breathe out, visualize the water receding, slipping back into the deep, carrying away the debris and the noise of the land. Inhale, the tide rises. Exhale, the tide falls. This is the heartbeat of the hydrosphere. The moon is the conductor of this symphony. It dictates the tempo of the waves. It ensures that the water never stops moving, ensuring that the oceans remain oxygenated and alive. The science of the tides is a science of balance. There is not just one bulge of water, there are two. On the side of the Earth facing the moon, gravity pulls the water up. But on the opposite side of the Earth, facing away into the dark void, there is another high tide. This is caused by inertia and the centrifugal force of the Earth's rotation. As the Earth spins, it flings the water outward slightly, and the moon's gravity is weaker on the far side, so the water bulges out there too. This means that the Earth is always balanced, held between two cushions of water. You are balanced tonight, held between the waking world and the sleeping world. The forces acting on you are equal and opposite, leaving you in a state of weightlessness. The moon itself is tidally locked to the Earth, which means it spins at the exact same speed that it orbits, showing us only one face. We never see the far side of the moon. This locking is a form of settling down. Over millions of years, the Earth's gravity slowed the moon's spin until it matched perfectly. It is a relationship of total trust. The moon keeps its face turned towards us, watching over us constantly, like a mother watching a sleeping child. There's a comfort in this constancy. The face of the moon never changes. It is the same face that Shakespeare saw, and the same face that the dinosaurs saw. In a world of constant change, the moon is a fixed point. It is an anchor in the sky. As you lie in bed, imagine the light of the full moon spilling into your room. It is a cool light, stripped of the sun's heat. It is silver and blue, a spectral light that makes everything look soft and dreamlike. This light has a sedative effect on the human mind. It triggers the release of melatonin, the hormone of sleep. We are biological creatures, and we are tuned to the cycles of the sky. The word lunatic comes from the Latin word for moon, luna, suggesting that the moon affects our minds. But tonight, it affects us only by bringing peace. It clears the mind of the sharp colors of the day and paints the world in monochrome shades of gray. This simplification of the visual world helps the brain to switch off. There is nothing to analyze in the moonlight, only shapes and shadows. The gravitational pull of the moon does something else to the Earth that is incredibly important for your sleep. It slows the Earth down. This is called tidal friction. As the water drags across the ocean floor, it creates friction, which acts as a brake on the Earth's rotation.
Billions of years ago, a day on Earth was only 6 hours long. The planet was spinning wildly. But the moon has patiently slowed us down, stretching the day to 24 hours, giving us the long, comfortable night we have today. Every century, the day gets a tiny fraction of a second longer. The moon is gifting us more time. It is giving you more time to rest. It is a generous partner. The relationship between the Earth and the moon is one of the most stable systems in the solar system. It is a gyroscope that keeps the Earth's tilt steady. Without the moon, the Earth would wobble chaotically on its axis, causing wild climate swings that would make life difficult. But the moon holds us steady. It keeps the seasons regular. It keeps the climate predictable. It stabilizes the wobble. Think of the moon as a heavy weight on the rim of a spinning top, keeping it upright and smooth. You are being held upright by this cosmic geometry. You are safe because the math of the orbit is perfect. The pull of the moon is not just on the ocean, it is also on the solid land. The ground beneath your house rises and falls by about 12 inches every day as the moon passes overhead. You cannot feel it because it is so gentle, and the whole continent moves with you, but it is happening. You are being rocked. The entire crust of the Earth is a cradle that is being gently lifted and lowered by the gravity of the moon. It is the ultimate rocking motion, performed on a planetary scale. This movement is imperceptible to the senses, but known to the soul. It is the feeling of being carried. The water in your body is also subject to these forces. You are 70% water. You are a miniature ocean. While the tidal force on a human body is tiny, the connection is there. You are made of the same stuff as the sea, and you respond to the same celestial rhythm. The ebb and flow of your energy matches the ebb and flow of the tide. Now it is low tide for your energy. The waters of your activity have receded, leaving the shore of your mind quiet and empty. The sand is smooth and wet, reflecting the starlight. The noise of the surf is far away. This is the time for recharging. When the tide goes out, the beach is cleaned.
The waves smooth the sand and wash away the footprints. Sleep cleans your brain. It washes away the toxins and the memories you do not need. It prepares you for the next high tide, which will come with the morning. But for now, enjoy the emptiness. Enjoy the space. The pull of the moon is a silent force. Gravity makes no noise. It works in the vacuum of space where sound cannot travel. It is a silent strength. Be like the gravity. Exert your influence without noise. Hold yourself together without effort. The orbit of the moon is an ellipse, which means sometimes it is closer and sometimes it is farther away. When it is closest, we call it a supermoon, and the tides are stronger. When it is farthest, the tides are weaker. This variation is a slow, pulsing cycle, a breathing pattern that spans a month. The phases of the moon, from new to full and back to new, are a visual calendar of rest. The new moon is the dark time, a time for beginnings and deep sleep. The full moon is the bright time, a time for illumination. Watch the moon in your mind as it waxes and wanes. It grows from a thin silver crescent to a round glowing orb, and then fades back to darkness. It is a slow blinking eye. It opens and closes over 29 days. This is a time scale that makes our daily rushing seem ridiculous. Why hurry when the moon takes a month just to turn around? Adopt the pace of the moon. Be distinct, be gradual, be luminous. The reflection of the moon on the water is often called a moon road or a stairway to the moon. It looks like a path of shimmering silver stretching across the dark ocean, leading from the shore to the horizon. Imagine stepping onto this path. The water is solid enough to hold you.
You walk on the light. You are walking away from the land, away from the cities, away from the responsibilities. You are walking towards the source of the gravity. The path is straight and clear. There are no obstacles. The light guides you. The sound of the water lapping against the imaginary path is hypnotic. Lap, lap, lap. It is the water kissing the light. The moon's pull is a reminder that we are part of a larger system. We are not isolated on this planet. We are dancing with a partner. We are part of a solar family. This feeling of belonging is deeply relaxing. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are in the right orbit. You are traveling at the right speed. The universe has arranged everything for your comfort. The distance of the moon is perfect. If it were closer, the tides would be destructive. If it were farther, the axis would wobble. It is in the Goldilocks zone. It is just right. This precision is a form of care. The cosmos cares for the conditions of your life. Feel the gravity of the moon pulling the tension out of your forehead. Feel it pulling the weight off your shoulders. It is a gentle upward force, counteracting the downward pull of the earth. It makes you feel lighter. It creates a sensation of levitation. You are floating in the tidal bulge. You are suspended in the saline water of the deep ocean. The moon is watching. The stars are watching. The night is a vast and friendly dome. The rhythm of the tides is the rhythm of sleep. Deep sleep is a high tide of brain waves, slow and powerful. Light sleep is a low tide, quick and shallow. You are moving into the high tide now. The waves of relaxation are rolling in. They are covering the rocks. They are filling the caves. The water is rising higher and higher. It is warm and dark and safe. The moon is the mistress of the night, holding the lantern so you do not have to be afraid of the dark. She has seen the earth through all its stages, from the magma ocean to the ice age, and she is still here. She is the ultimate witness. She will be here when you wake up. She will be here when you sleep again. The constancy of the moon is a promise that the night will pass, a promise that the sun will rise, but also a promise that the rest is here for you now. The ocean breathes in, the ocean breathes out. The chest of the world rises, the chest of the world falls. You are breathing with the world. You are sleeping with the world. The connection is made. The gravity is holding. The night is deep. The tide is full. Rest now in the silver light. Rest now in the gentle pull. Rest.
We have traveled a great distance together tonight, journeying from the silent dust of the ancient nebula through the fire of the magma oceans and the cooling rain of the first seas, and now we arrive at the present moment, the final resting place of our story. We have explored the depths of the ocean and the heights of the aurora, but there is one final fact about the Earth that is perhaps the most miraculous and the most relaxing of all. It is the fact of the rotation itself, the eternal spin that carries us from the darkness into the light and back again. As you lie perfectly still in your bed, comfortable and warm, consider the magnificent paradox that while you feel absolutely motionless, you are actually traveling at an incredible speed. At the equator, the Earth is spinning at over 1,000 miles per hour. Even where you are right now in the United States, you are moving at hundreds of miles per hour, sliding smoothly through the darkness of space. And yet, you feel nothing. You feel no wind, you feel no vibration, you feel no dizziness. There is only the stillness.
This is the ultimate smoothness of nature. Imagine being on a high-speed train that is moving so perfectly on its rails that you can balance a coin on its edge. The Earth is that train, but it is infinitely smoother and infinitely more stable. We do not feel the speed because the atmosphere is moving with us. The air you breathe, the room you sleep in, and the bed you lie on are all traveling together in a perfect, synchronized dance. This is the science of inertia, and it is a feeling of being carried. You are a passenger on the most reliable vehicle in the universe. The Earth has been spinning for 4.5 billion years, and it has never once faltered. It has never stopped. It maintains its momentum with a precision that makes the best Swiss watches look clumsy. This reliability is the foundation of your trust. You can close your eyes and surrender to sleep because you know that the mechanism of the world is working. You do not need to check the engine. You do not need to steer. The laws of physics have the wheel. As the Earth turns, it turns away from the sun, creating the shadow that we call night. Visualize this shadow now as a physical thing, a vast curtain of cool velvet darkness being drawn across the continent. Watch it in your mind's eye, sweeping across the United States from east to west. First, the shadow touches the coast of Maine, and the lights of New York City and Boston begin to twinkle in the twilight. Then the shadow glides silently over the Appalachian Mountains, cooling the forests and hushing the birds. It moves across the Great Lakes, across the flat and peaceful cornfields of the Midwest, where the wheat sways gently in the night breeze. It crosses the Mississippi River, which flows dark and strong to the sea. The shadow creates a wave of sleep that moves across the land. People in Chicago and St. Louis and Dallas are turning off their lights and pulling up their covers, joining you in this great collective rest. The shadow climbs the Rocky Mountains, covering the snow-capped peaks in purple darkness, and descends into the deserts of the Southwest, where the cactus stands silent under the stars. Finally, it reaches the Pacific coast, covering Los Angeles and Seattle and San Francisco in the calm of the night. You are part of this great wave. You are part of the continent drifting into sleep. The rotation is not just a movement through space, it is a movement through time. Every degree the Earth turns is a minute of time passing. The planet is a clock. The turning of the globe is ticking away the moments of the night, bringing you closer to the restoration of the morning. But for now, the destination is deep sleep.
The axis of the Earth, the invisible line that runs from the North Pole to the South Pole, is tilted at 23.5 degrees. This tilt is what gives us the seasons, but it also gives us a fixed point in the sky. If you were to look out your window at the northern sky, you would see Polaris, the North Star, standing still while all the other stars circle around it. This is the center of the carousel. Imagine yourself located near that center. The motion there is slow and gentle. You are tethered to stability. The centrifugal force of the spin is tiny, but it is there, a gentle outward push that counteracts gravity just enough to make you feel a tiny bit lighter. It is as if the Earth is trying to lift you up, trying to unburden you of your weight. Let that feeling take over. Feel the heaviness of your body dissolving into the momentum of the planet. You are being spun so gently that it feels like a mother rocking a cradle. The physics of angular momentum tells us that a spinning object wants to keep spinning. It resists change. This means that the Earth is stubborn in its stability. It will not change its course for anything. This stubbornness is your safety. The ground beneath you is not going to suddenly shift. The sun is not going to suddenly disappear. The cycle is locked in. The repetition of day and night is the oldest rhythm in biology.
Your circadian clock is set to this rotation. Every cell in your body knows that the Earth is turning. Your brain releases chemicals to match the darkness. Your body temperature drops to match the cooling Earth. You are synchronized. You are in tune. The Earth turns away from the sun, not to abandon it, but to rest from it. The day is for energy and activity and heat. The night is for cooling and processing and dreaming. The rotation allows the planet to regulate itself, to keep from getting too hot or too cold. It is a balancing act. You too need this balance. You cannot be awake forever. You must turn away from the light. You must enter the shadow. It is safe in the shadow. The darkness is not empty. It is full of potential. It is the soil in which the seeds of tomorrow's energy are planted. Think about the word tomorrow. It is a promise. It is the certainty that the Earth will continue to turn until the sun comes back into view. Because you know the sun will rise, you can afford to let go of today. You do not need to hold on to the day. You can let it slide over the horizon. Let the worries of the morning rotate away from you. Let the stress of the afternoon spin off into the void. They are in the past now. The rotation has carried you away from them. You are moving into a new sector of space. You are traveling into the future. The speed of the spin is constant, 1,000 miles per hour. It creates a steady hum, a vibration of existence that is too low to hear but deep enough to feel. It is the white noise of the universe. The atmosphere protects us from the friction of space. We are inside a bubble of air that travels with us. It is a cozy arrangement. We are traveling through the cosmos in a first-class cabin, protected from the cold and the vacuum. We are safe explorers. The stars you see out the window are the signposts of our journey. As the night progresses, the constellations march across the sky. Orion, the hunter; Ursa Major, the bear; Cassiopeia, the queen. They are the slow, steady companions of your night. Watch them drift. They are moving because you are moving. Their movement is the visual proof of the Earth's lullaby. The science of the rotation is the science of the circle. The circle is the shape of perfection. It has no beginning and no end. It is infinite. The cycle of sleep and wake is a circle.
You are entering the bottom of the circle now, the deepest part of the curve. This is the nadir, the point of maximum rest. From here, the only way is up towards the morning, but there is no rush. The circle is large. The night is long. You have hours and hours of darkness ahead of you, hours to drift, hours to heal. The earth spins so smoothly that liquids do not spill. The oceans stay in their basins. The tea in a cup stays flat. Your blood flows smoothly in your veins. Everything is undisturbed. This calmness in the midst of such speed is a miracle. It teaches us that you can be moving forward rapidly while remaining perfectly still inside. You can be making progress while you sleep. In fact, sleep is the most efficient way to travel to tomorrow. You close your eyes, and when you open them, the world has turned halfway around. You have arrived. The anticipation of the sunrise is a comforting thought, but the reality of the night is even better. The night is the time when the earth listens. The noise of the human world dies down, and the planet can hear itself think. You can hear yourself think, or better yet, you can stop thinking. You can just be. The rotation creates a wind called the Coriolis effect, which steers the trade winds and the ocean currents. It is the invisible hand that guides the weather. It is a gentle steering force. Let yourself be steered. Do not try to fight the current tonight. The earth is turning towards sleep, so you should turn towards sleep. Align your will with the will of the planet. There is no point in standing still when the ground is moving. Lie down. Let the bed support you. Let the house protect you. Let the gravity hold you. Let the rotation rock you. The horizon is moving up to cover the stars.
One by one, the lights of the universe are dimmed. The focus narrows. The world becomes smaller. It shrinks down to the size of your room. Then it shrinks down to the size of your bed. Then it shrinks down to the size of your mind. And finally, it disappears into the velvet black of sleep. The 1,000 miles per hour speed is the speed of your flight into dreams. You are flying into a landscape of rest. The momentum is irresistible. You cannot stop the sun from setting, and you cannot stop the sleep from coming. It is inevitable. It is natural. It is good. The final reassurance of the story is this: the earth has spun for billions of nights before you were born, and it will spin for billions of nights after you are gone. Your sleep is part of this eternal chain. You are safe in the hands of the physics that built the world. The nebula gathered the dust, the magma cooled to rock, the rain filled the oceans, the air filled the sky, the continents drifted, the caves grew crystals, the magnetic field rose up, the ice quieted the world, the wind smoothed the stones, the forests breathed, the moon pulled the tides, and now the earth spins. It spins you into the darkness, it spins you into the silence, it spins you into the peace. The journey is complete, the science is sound, the history is written, the night is here. There is nothing left to learn tonight, there is nothing left to do. The only thing left is to drift, to float, to spin. The rotation is a lullaby that never ends. Round and round and round we go, into the dark and into the dream. The stillness is absolute. The peace is total. The earth is holding you. Tomorrow is coming, but for now, there is only sleep. Deep, restful, eternal sleep. Good night.